let me get back to Dr. Bello Abdul Latif. A lot of issues have been raised regarding the human factor, regarding the kind of vehicles that are on the road, the age of the vehicles, the lack of maintenance, and all of it. But how do we find a solution if we have not been able to develop the rail sector enough to divert, if we have not been able to develop the waterways enough to divert? How do we find solutions to the carnage on the roads because of articulated vehicle?
Thank you very much. And then the first thing is that we have to begin to look at, drawing an active legislation around the operation of, articulated vehicles and truck, activities generally in the country. Motor Vehicle Administration, being a state matter, has allowed each state, to manage their, motor vehicle, differently, but we need to have a central plan, and then which means it will start from what specific age is required, for who should be an articulated vehicle driver. It's very important, but I know it's, from Highway Code, it's stated that about 26 years, but that has not been, respected. You now see children driving articulated vehicles, and there's no proper training school. There has to be a registered, proper training school for articulated vehicle driving. It's a special, skill that is required to drive an articulated vehicle because of its, the gross weight, So if we don't have an accredited special training school for these drivers where they will be trained, generically on everything revolving not just about defensive driving, but emotional intelligence, what should be their mood before they begin to put, that vehicle on the road. It's very important. And then we need to have active legislation on that. And then, again, it should be stated in line with international best practice that there should be a mental evaluation, mental and physical evaluation of who will be a driver, of this particular class of vehicles. Is very important. And until we have a harmonized and expanded, enforcement synergy, that involve all security agencies once this active legislation is enacted, so that it can be driven by, it doesn't have to be road safety, it doesn't have to be VIU, it doesn't have to be police. There should be a synergy, because until that happens, it's still going to be very difficult for us, to regulate the activities of this particular class of drivers and vehicles. And secondly, we should begin to look at our, urban planning. It's only in this particular climb that I see that, community opens directly, to the highway. But it's not done in most developed climes, You can't, like going to the airport now, for instance, you see, communities opening, even government offices opening directly to highways. And if you do that, it will generate secondary activities on the road corridor. And then if there is an accident, the collateral damage will be extremely, extremely high, like what happened in Niger State of recent, So we need to begin to understand that there has to be, a security buffer between a highway and even the fence, seeding a community away from highway on trunk roads. If all these things are, actively legislated upon, I think it will go a long way in mitigating the menace of the articulated vehicles and the road crashes that we have been having in the country.
Okay.